everyone, welcome to the Neath Valley Rally, and what a story! Mark Soloway's historic Rallysport preparations business in southwest Wales has attracted double British Rally champion David Llewellin and former world champion 4 times, of course, Juha Kankkunen, to compete on this event.
Den is the guy who organised the event. He turned to me, he said, can you get a star to come? So I made a few calls, and next thing we didn't have 1, we had 2, you know, and I just tried to hype the event up a bit, which is good. Historic rallying is the biggest formula. You know, the European Championship is the biggest rally championship now in the world, you know, by the amount of cars that follow it, and it's growing, you know, because they're a more affordable car than a modern world rally car, you know, and it's what a lot of people remember. So, and that's why I think they're so popular, because aren't they great cars? These cars are so much fun. If you look at today, I've sold cars to Jari-Matti Latvala, Mikko Hirvonen, who are current top WRC drivers, but they're still passionate for these cars as well, you know. There's something about that era, the 80s, the Vatanans and the Nichols, which is stuck in people's minds today, you know. You know, and even Malcolm Wilson, boss of Ford, he's got one, you know. So it's the car sells itself always.
Let's look back 21 years to the Safari Rally in Kenya, where the young David Llewellin was selected by Nissan to compete against Kankkunen and the others in this toughest of all events. The late David Llewellin commentates.
The Safari covers 3,000 miles in 6 days of fiercely competitive driving. The first leg is from Nairobi to Mombasa, on the second day back to Nairobi, the third leg Nairobi to Nakuru, then Nakuru to Eldoret, Eldoret to Nyeri, and the final leg back to Nairobi.
The first 3 weeks I was here back in January. It was all very interesting, because, you know, it's so different, and seeing all the animals and the different way of life here, it was very interesting. Now I've been here 9 weeks. I feel a bit like a local, and I very much feel like going home, to be honest.
On the day before the start of the rally, the Ngong Racecourse in Nairobi becomes a large open-air showroom. The cars, gleaming and unblemished, are turned out for scrutineering. The 3 main contenders are Lancia, Toyota and Nissan.
It's the longest and most difficult rally in the World Championship Series, but it's also one of the nicest ones. I like very much to be here, and especially this rally.
It's a particular rally because you have not special stages, and you have to drive carefully but quick in the same time. So it's going to be interesting for that.
I would hope to repeat what I did last year, what means a win, but that is difficult, very difficult.
No, this is not a rally. You should not call rally, you should call another way, right or something in between. The philosophy of the race is completely different, and then you have to change your mind.
I'm going flat out from the start.
It's more like endurance race. There you have to go bloody quick most of the time and no service time. That's the biggest problem.
As the countdown comes to an end, the Argentinian Recalde in his Lancia Delta is the first to leave the start ramp. 22 minutes later, it is Llewellyn's turn. His long wait is at last over. Llewellyn on the super special stage at Ngong Racecourse, a stage specially prepared for spectator enjoyment. After leaving Nairobi, the competitors head towards the first real leg of the rally, which takes them towards Mcginnis Temple. This is Llewellyn's view of the route.
Keep right, rock, 70, Long 2 left and turn 3 right. 100.
During the first section, there weren't any signs of rain. There were a few mud holes, but the overnight dampness did keep the dust down. Recalde was leading the Lancia Challenge. Early in the first section, reigning world champion Carlos Sainz in his Toyota took the lead. By the end of the first day, his closest rival was teammate Bjorn Valdegaard, winner of last year's rally. Mikael Eriksson, the third member of the Toyota team, wasn't far behind, but he seemed to be playing a waiting game, hoping that the leaders might make some unforeseen errors of judgment. The first Nissan on the road was that driven by Blomqvist, but that was a privilege he was soon to forfeit. Kankkunen, after a slight coming together with some straw bales on the super special stage in Nairobi, was making good progress and was up amongst the leaders. For the Welshman on his first outing, there didn't seem to be any problems. He was driving a steady, sensible and patient rally. His policy was to stay firmly on the road and keep his car in good shape.
Twisty, 3 right, tightens, 3 left, 70, 73 left, 50, 1 right, and 2 right.
But if things were all right for Llewellyn, the same wasn't true for the Nissan team in general. Somewhere in the early part of the first section, Blomqvist in the leading Nissan holed his sump. He was losing oil faster than it could be replenished, and it was a wonder that he was able to reach Mcginnis Temple without seizing up his engine.
Oh, it's nothing really. We came over the crest and had a little jump, and it was a little dip just after the jump. So we hit the sump guard, and there was a crack in the sump. We have lost, compared with other, I could reckon 40 minutes more. But it's a long rally, it's just the beginning.
You can make the time up.
We'll try anyway. It's the only thing we can do. We can't go home anyway. It's too early for that.
Best of luck. Cheers.
The chase car, which was supplying Blomqvist with fresh oil every 10 kilometers, also had its problems. It rolled.
And he was using approximately 4 liters every 10 kilometers. We were having to, or Stig was stopping. We were filling him up. The helicopter was supplying us with fuel. 70k section or 90k section, I'm not quite sure which. We managed to turn the chase car over on the way down as well. So not a very happy day, but at least we're here.
With a new sump fitted, an operation completed in less than half an hour, Blomqvist was on his way again. But by now he was well down the field, with a lot of lost time to make up. As the first day came to an end, Llewellyn was performing well, and he was up to 6th position, a remarkable feat for someone in his first World Championship event. It promised to be a good rally for the Pembrokeshire farmer.
1 right, 300 twisty, pressed, 500 twisty.
One never knows what lies round the next corner, and after the tighter hills, David Llewellyn's first safari came to an abrupt end when, with impaired visibility, he collided with a Subaru driven by Alwi Hassan. Fortunately and miraculously, there were no fatalities, but it was a close shave. The Welshman made the headlines, but unfortunately for him, not for the right reasons.
I was coming out of the junction to go to service, and this rally car was coming the other direction at very high speed, and with the side windows muddy in the car. I just didn't see him, and we stopped at the junction and pulled out, and he was coming down very quickly, and we just had to come in together. It's been a long time out here with a lot of work, and you know, things were going so well, which is disappointing, and there's nothing you can do. I mean, accidents happen like that, and it was so quick, and you know, you felt like you wanted to go on.
Sainz, firmly in the lead, was to remain there until the penultimate leg, but on day 5 he was forced to retire with a broken conrod. Kankkunen in the Lancia took over the lead, and he was to stay there throughout the final day. After Sainz had dropped out, his teammate Ericsson moved up to second place behind Kankkunen. The Lancia team had lost one car on the second day when Mickey Biasion had a road accident, but his teammate Ricalde was to finish the rally in third place. At one point, Valdegaard had been joint leader with Sainz, but on the third leg between Nairobi and Nakuru, the Swede rolled his car, for the first time in 7 years, according to the driver, but he would carry on to finish in fourth place. After losing 40 minutes on the first day because of that sump problem, Benny Melander had said it was too early to go home. He was so right. Blomqvist and his co-driver in their Nissan Sunny were to finish 5th. The blue and white flags proclaim a victory for Finland. There are no red dragons in this Kenyan celebration. For the Welsh, it is time to reflect on what might have been. And as Kankkunen and his co-driver toast another win for Lancia, the Pembrokeshire farmer will know that in spite of his disappointment, he has learned much from his first experience of that grueling journey in the land of the Maasai.
So, with an old rival to beat, and of course pretty rally rusty, David Llewellyn had been having some sleepless nights.
I've been doing a lot of rallying at nights this week, I'll be honest, you know, in the dreams, so a bit apprehensive because it's a long time since I've, well, certainly driven an Escort. I think it's 28 years since I've been in an Escort in the forest, and the last rally I did was back in '96, so yeah, I'm a little bit apprehensive to say the least, and you know, just a small name like Juha Kankkunen, 4 times world champion in the same car, so we've only really competed directly together on a few occasions, probably only about 3 or 4 rallies, and one of those we did swap times on a fairly regular basis. That was the RAC 89 when we were both in Toyotas, so I'd like to think I've got the pace to give him a push. So he doesn't have it all his own way, but I suppose that depends who's the rustiest, doesn't it?
Oh, Nicky just called me up that we have a little rally here in my hometown near, and would you like to drive an Escort there and have a game of golf with me and, you know, play around? I said yes, I had nothing to do after the Finland rally, so I come here and we do the rally and play golf. No, the car is good. I tried it yesterday in Sweetlam. First hairpin I went, I spun straight away, and then I thought, yes, the 4-wheel drive is not connected, you know, the front wheels are not pulling, so I have to drive a little bit different technique, but beautiful, very, very nice car, very nice Escort.
2, 1, and so, first car away at the start here before the resolving stage. Juha Kankkunen with Nicky Grist co-driving, remember, Nicky was Juha's co-driver for a couple of years, and also reunited with his old co-driver David Llewellin there in the braces bred Escort. And here we are in the forest with a lot of dust, been pretty dry on this stage of Ronda. Kankkunen, of course, has rallied Escorts, but not a great deal. Here is David Llewellyn. Phil Short, his co-driver. the former classic scholar, who these days runs the WRC Academy.
2 right, 50.
And now we've got split screen, we can compare them.
Open left.
And Kankkunen taking a little bit of time out of David Llewellin. Kankkunen sitting on the left, Llewellyn on the right in these two Escort Mark II historic rally cars.
3 right. 30, 3 left. Crest, 30, turn hairpin left. 50, 4 left. 36 right.
You, of course, did compete on the 2010 Rally Finland in a Stobart Escort. That was his last competitive run, where he finished 8th. David Llewellyn's had a much longer layoff than that. The man who twice won the British Rally Championship. Factory driver not only for Nissan, as we saw on the Safari, but also for Vauxhall and Toyota, which is the company with whom he won that pair of British championships.
Crest, then 4 left.
There, Llewellyn, the famous moustache bristling.
Long 3 right. 50, 4 left loose. 50, twisty. Crest, long 2 left, entry 3 right. 153 left, narrow.
There's the braces car, look.
34 left.
About 20 cars in this historic section of the Neath Valley event.
30, long 2 right. 50, caution, 3 left, tightens.
Some quite big names as well they have to beat. James Potter, Will Nichols. We'll see them in a little while, but let's concentrate on the two heroes from the past here.
Small crest, 70.
Past the logs.
100, twisty. Yeah, 2 right, 2 left, slippy and logs. 5 left.
So the words of Phil Short. And nearing end of the stage, and Kankkunen. Very quick time indeed, 6:56 for the first one. But Llewellyn really flying. Knows these forests, of course, so much better than does Juha. That famous roar of the Escort. These Mark IIs just so well balanced. Yeah, the 102 car of Llewellyn and Phil Short. Both drivers 50-somethings these days. David back to farming, of course. And there's the 104 car then. The Yorkshireman, Matthew Robinson. And Matthew was going very well indeed, splitting the two former professionals. This is Will Nichols from the Isle of Man. We're more used to seeing him in a Subaru World Rally car, but he swapped that for this Mark II Escort. Out to have some fun rallying now. And running in 6th place. Will Nichols may be new to an Escort Mark II. This man most certainly isn't. James Potter from Kent. Huge experience in these cars. And he was running in 4th place and battling with Matthew Robinson and the two World Rally stars. .107, Jonathan Brace. Well, he'd lent his best car to David Llewellyn. This was his spare and was having a bit of a problem with the brakes. Quite a flamboyant style. Trying hard, Jonathan Brace, with Tim the Sump Samuel on the notes. What a bit of a moment and a spin there. Sure he'll sort it out.
And 3 right, no cut.
So at the front, Llewellyn leading from Juha Kankkunen, the 4 times world champion. End of the stage. More action of Brace. It's on the 3rd stage now.
One left, continues very long. Tightens to 2 left and continues very long. And 1 right, opens and continues very long.
Classic Welsh stages here.
Very long. Into 5 right and 5 left long, tightens.
Oh, gets a bit sideways on. Straightens it out.
And flat left
Giving
long.
Tim the Sump quite a ride here.
And turn hairpin right, slippy logs. Oh, fuck. Shit. Very well.
Oh, another spin. Oh, can you see where he's going? Oh, just about. Well, certainly entertaining the spectators who have come out to see the 2 world stars. 108 is Barry Jordan, BTRDA regular. He's been having quite a battle also in the top 5. Jordan trading times with Potter. Robert Dennis in the yellow car, 109. A bit of front bumper problem there. But sadly, Dennis was to retire on the next stage. This is a late entry which came in from Stuart Clark, all the way from the Forester Dean, running in 10th place in this car he'd hired. And what about this? The venerable old Volvo of Ian Beveridge, long-time rally competitor. He was winning the B3 category and really throwing the Swedish machine about, and he was just inside the top 10.
I thought we'd just have to go out and drive hard on the first stage just to, you know, try and stamp our mark. Phil did excellent because, you know, I've had a day in the car, but he was straight in on the notes like that, you know, from cold. So he did excellent. So, yeah, well pleased, very well pleased with the first stage time.
So what is your first stage time?
Well, I only know that we're 56 seconds in front of Juha with the 3 stages. So I think the first stage was about 16 seconds faster than him. So I was well pleased with that.
I mean, David Llewellyn's flying today. I mean, he's driving that Escort absolutely on the limit. But Juha is just a simple case of, I drive my pace. And, you know, the one thing, I think it's a great thing having Juha here on a national rally in Wales. But I think it's important to get him back to the finish, rally for him, and I think it's just a great spectacle. It doesn't matter where we finish. It doesn't bother Juha.
David Llewellin and Juha Kankkunen battling for the lead of this. David starting to pull away a little bit. But here is Juha, of course a factory driver for the likes of Toyota and Peugeot and Lancia. First World Championship event, though, was in 1979 when he drove in the 1,000 late cylinder RS2000. He's won more World Championships than anyone else, except, of course, Sebastian Loeb. The 4 victories with Toyota and Lancia here. David Llewellin then, the Harvard for West farmer, always very popular around the rally scene. Remember him originally with Vauxhall. Did the odd rally in an Escort. Flying through the trees here, and obviously hadn't forgotten anything. Been a long layoff for David. I don't know if we're going to see him out again. I hope so. Certainly hadn't lost it at all. Marshall's getting a good view here. Yeah, putting on the power, just rear-wheel drive, of course. See quite a lot of Escort Mark IIs out in modern guise, sometimes with Vauxhall engines, but look at this, split screens. 2 with Kankkunen, 2 with Llewellyn. Kankkunen on the left there with Mcginnis, who I think spent 3 seasons alongside Kankkunen before he moved on to Colin McRae. Nicky has won 21 World Championship events. The first of them was with Juha back in the 93 Argentine Rally. See Phil Short there calling out the notes. Phil, who after he left university went to work for Dunlop, set up a successful van hire business, but now very much involved, as I said, in the World Rally Championship. Let's listen to him. Juha holds the world record top speed for driving on ice. He did that last year in a Bentley Continental Supersports. Think about this, on ice, 330.7 kilometres an hour he did, and I know that Britain's Derek Bell was there and at the same occasion and also drove the car, not as quick as Juha. He said it was just awesome to see him. Here's the 104 car, Matthew Robinson. He's dropped behind the 2 world stars now with some mechanical problems. Robinson with Nigel Hutchison on the notes. 105, Will Nichols. Will's had a lot of success in Subarus. He must be finding this all a little different. But I'm sure he'll be revelling in the fine balance of these cars. The majority of them, of course, running on the old Leaf kart spring suspension, although some did get converted to coil springs. In fact, I competed on the 77 RAC Rally to 5th place with Andy Dawson with a coil spring sprung Escort. James Potter then. And Potter will be competing in the new Pre-87 Championship next year. There's been a bit of a split in the historic rallying world. There's going to be a couple of rival championships, I think, next year. Whoa, 107, Jonathan Brace has another incident. Let's check out Brace here. Certainly trying very hard.
And 3 left. 150.
Brace pushing as hard as he can, the Baker. Flowing Welsh stages, but there's always places 60. That can catch you out.
3 left long, no cut. Into 3 right. 100. 2 left, continues long. Bank closing. And 4 left long. Into 1 right long.
Oh, he's off! Oh, bang! And, well, that looks terminal to me. Just trying too hard.
Windows, well, push our window out.
Well, Jonathan Brace goes out, but well done for him for lending his car to David Llewellin, making this great showdown happen. Barry Jordan now in the 108. Again, the gorgeous sound of the BDA engines. 109, Robert Dennis. Running down at about 15th, 16th place in the yellow car. 122, Stu Clark. Stuart was leading the D3 category. It's a smaller engine escorts and others. Oh, wrong way, Gareth Lewis, and dropping a lot of time here. Gareth Lewis is running in about 9th position. Sorts it all out in the white and blue car. So that's Gareth Lewis. Funny to see that rally arrow, look, must be best part of 15 years old. It says Network Q on it. Into the Mark 1 Escort RS2000 now with the standard wheel arches. This is Tim Phelps with Elwyn Manuel, his co-driver. So nice to see a very pristine Mark 1 in the original colours with white and blue. 110 here, Neil James. He was leading his class with Kevin Jones. And back with Juha Kankkunen. Now trying to take some time back off David Llewellin. On the final stage, Palana 2. Kankkunen really got the hand of this Escort Mark II. Here's Will Nichols, of course, with the sponsorship from the Red Funnel Line, which brings him across from the Isle of Wight to the mainland. James Potter having a great day out there with Bob Duck, his long-time co-driver. There's Barry Jordan. Jordan in 4th place. Stuart Clark an excellent 6th. And Gareth Lewis running in 7th place. And a great result for Phelps there into 9th position. Neil James ended his day in 8th place in the yellow and orange car. Back at the finish, Juha Kankkunen was congratulating David Llewellin.
The roads had come up quite badly and there was quite big stones, and you know, when they're hitting the bottom of the car you're cringing, and of course punctures are a major hazard with that because you know, a stone only has to cut the tyre and that's the rally finish. So it was a bit nervy going through there, to be honest, but you know, we made it through okay.
And how's the car performed for you today?
The car's been brilliant, I must say. You know, Jonathan Brace did a good job putting that out for me. He's persuaded me, it's all his fault, he persuaded me to come out and have a go again. So, and Phil Short, you know, 22 years since he sat in the car and he started on that stage, so fair dues to him. He can still read the notes.
He's got a natural talent, and you never lose that. And it's nothing to do with age. You could tell the moment he stepped in the car, got on that first stage, he's just every bit as good as he used to be.
Good relationship with Nicky, and it was nice to be back, you know, with him in the car. He's still as professional he was when we did the World Championship, so that works well together.
And pipped to the post by David Llewellin. Are you all right about that?
No, he's okay. I mean, he's local boy and he drives, he knows the roads, and they drive well here. I mean, it's the same thing if they come to Finland, to my home area, which when I know just every corner and every single jump like that, it's so much easier, you know, to drive. But no, he went well, must say that.
Well, we've seen the historics, but there was also a modern rally going on as well with some world rally cars, and everyone getting ready for this, and the first car we see is the Londoner Daniel O'Brien here and his Ford Focus World Rally car. Pushing it pretty hard on a very stony section. See how rough it is. The Willow Hire back to focus. Daniel O'Brien with Paul Spooner, his co-driver. Paul, of course, hugely experienced with the likes of Brian Bell and Steve Perez. You'll know these forests pretty well. Lovely shot going through. Wagutting then, the property developer from the home counties. And he's Group N Impreza. Wag's been rallying for many years. Doesn't have son Max alongside him today. He's got Derek Davis with him. And his company, Utting Estates, emblazoned across the top of the windscreen. Utting, of course, doesn't have the power of the Focus. It's effectively a Group N car, but he has some local knowledge here. And setting some very good times indeed. His co-driver, Derek Davis, knows these forests. Derek from Swansea. Right, Hyundai are coming back into rallying, but this is their old accent, and Peter Egerton's been campaigning one of those for a while. Dylan Davis and Dale Furness in their modern-style Impreza. And Davis was certainly setting a very good pace here, again with some local knowledge. Indeed, they were already pulling away from the rest of the field. Evo Mark 8 there, Mitsubishi of Rory Hall. Group N, and chasing after Wagutting. The tidy display, and he would end the day in 13th place. Across the cattle grid, rattling across that. Number 7, Bob Morgan and A.D. Williams in their Subaru. Fans enjoying it. Mountain bikers up there. It's amazing where the rally fans can get to sometimes. And Morgan heading for 4th place finish behind Wagutting. The 8 car, that's Tony McWhirter in his Evo 9, putting up some decent times. Tony McWhirter. Sadly, he retired. This is having a bit of a moment there. Kevin Rowledge. Last spin. But unfortunately, Rowledge would retire before the end of the rally. Another who went home at lunchtime was familiar sight of Will Onions in his Mark II Escort. Might look like the cars we saw earlier on, but they run different engines, usually run Vauxhall engines in these cars. They're not to the historic regulations. John and Jane Fox in their Mitsubishi. This is a quite old Evo 6, but driving a steady rally, the Foxes. Just outside the top 10. And finishing an excellent second in class. Then Jones in his red Escort Mark II. Trying to match the times of the similar car of Gavin Edwards. But this is Len Jones. And he ended his day in 7th place overall, 3rd in class. The young man is trying to make his way in rallying. He's got this car for sale, the Ford Fiesta. Jason Pritchard, son of Ian Pritchard, of course. And he's peddling that pretty well. Jason, as we'd expect, with Chris Ridge, his co-driver, running inside the top 10, just ahead of the Foxes in the little Fiesta 17 going through. And that's Brian Mcginnis. Always goes well in this car, this Corsa. Brian heading to a class victory and 11th place overall. What a good drive from Brian Mcginnis. This is Dave Harris in his Mark II. Dave chucking it nicely sideways there, but sadly he would be another on the rather long list of retirements on this event. I mentioned that Walgutting wasn't being co-driven by his son Max, because Max has his own car, this Ford Fiesta, and here he is, the former Oxford Brook student. 2nd in class and 6th place. Good run by Max Utting. This is Barry Jones in his light blue car. So, gives us a little honk of his horn on his way to a finish in the top 20. If you like budget rally cars, you can't go wrong with a BMW 3 Series like this car of David Jones, rear-wheel drive, and an awful lot of fun. And those engines are absolutely rock solid. And of course, they do have their own championship. He finished 3rd in class. Here's a famous car, Stuart Larby with his Metro 6R4. Must be in rallying it for the best part of a decade. Much better than having it in a museum in the original BMC, British Leyland colours. Sounding brilliant. Engine V6 designed by David Wood, pounding away in the back. But he too would retire from this event with the 23 car. And a very good 10th overall, and winner in his class, Colin Webb in his BMW 325, the 27 car there. And certainly excellent drive from Colin Webb. So what a day for the spectators.
I give you the winners of the historic Neath Valley.
And this was the result of historic. Llewellyn from Kankkunen, who closed up a bit towards the end. Potter 3rd, Jordan, Nichols, Clark, Gareth Lewis, Neil James, Tim Phelps and Ian Beveridge in that Volvo. That was the top 10. And here the modern event, Dylan Davis leading from the beginning, pulling away from Daniel O'Brien. Walgutting an excellent 3rd, Bob Morgan. Gavin Edwards, the 2nd of the Uttings, in 6th place. But here, the celebrations at the end. David Llewellyn comes back to rallying and takes a victory with old co-driver Phil Shaw. What a great story. Yeah, the smiles say it all.